Hi everybody. Today I'm going to make some chicken bone broth. I've had a few people ask me how I make mine and they've been buying theirs. So I'm going to make some. I was getting ready to do it anyway, so I'm going to make some bone broth and you can follow along and see how I do mine. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it, many different ways, but this is how I do it. It's how I like it. So you can follow along. Let's go. Okay, whether I'm making chicken broth or beef broth, any type of broth, I always ignore the lemons. That doesn't go in the broth. I'm just washing them. But anytime I'm making broth, I always use carrots and celery and onions that I put in while I'm slow cooking the broth. But I take this and I wash them first in a solution of salt and vinegar water. And I just put them in here and swish them around a little bit and let them soak for a few minutes, and then I take it out and rinse it. And that really gets them clean. And then I just can put them in my broth or use them for whatever I want to use them for. Okay, here we go. So what I do first is I take my chicken, and it depends on what I use. Sometimes I'll use a whole chicken. Other times I'll use leg quarters. Sometimes I'll stop at the store and get a rotisserie chicken to eat because I don't feel like cooking that night. So on the days that I do that, I don't throw the carcass away. I keep the carcass and the skin. I put it in a freezer bag. And sometimes that's what I use. But today, the best is when you have both, I guess. But this is a nice chicken. I just bought this this morning at the store. It's a whole chicken. It's a whole bird. And I'm not sure how much she weighs, but she's not a very big one. Maybe 4 pounds. So anyway, what I'll do is I will put her in my Instant Pot. So I'll put her in, and the gizzards that come with the whole chickens, I will put them in, like the gizzards and the neck. I'll put that in as well. And I also put chicken paws. Chicken feet. You can buy these in a lot of stores. A lot of Asian markets will have them. I just happen to have a food co-op not too far from me. I get them from. And I buy them in 40-pound cases, and then I split it up and put it in my freezer. Anyway. All right. So I just put those in. This is like really easy. It's like so easy you're going to be going, oh, that's like really easy to do. So let me rearrange my camera here a little bit so you can see better. Okay. All right. That's what I do there. And then, now this is up to you individually, whether you want salt in yours or not. I like salt, so I use the Himalayan pink salt. And for this pot full, I put 1 tablespoon of salt in. I know that may seem like a lot of salt for some of you, but just watch through the video and see, because I end up making more broth than what this pot will hold, and I'll show you how I do that later once we get on in the video here. So that's what I do. I just put that in. I don't put anything else in. And then I take my, oops, guess I'm splashing it everywhere. But I fill it up with water up to the max fill line. There's a little line here inside the Instant Pot, and I just fill it up to there with water. And I'm going to put my lid on. Okay. And then what I do is, let me see if I can get this down here so you can see this better. For those of you, for those of you that have an Instant Pot, I'm sure that you already know how to operate it. But what I'll do is put it right here. Okay, so all right, I'm going to put it on the, you see it flashing here where it says soup and broth. Okay, I have it on that, and I'm going to put it in there, and then I'll set it, we'll set the time for like 2 hours. I just love this thing. It's awesome. So I'll set it for 2 hours. My pressure is set on low. And then I just hit, what did I do? Oops. I changed the time on it. Gotta watch where my fingers are. All right. Close enough. And then I'll just hit start. Okay, and then let that go. We'll come back after 2 hours and I'll show you what I do then. Oh, I forgot to mention. I got to thinking not everybody may have an Instant Pot. So this is just the first step in how I make mine. But if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can use a real large stock pot that you have and do it on your stove top. If I wanted to do it that way, I would probably roast the chicken first and then put it in the water in the stock pot and let it simmer on low then for maybe another hour just to get the nice roasted flavor out of the chicken, and then you could take it out and pull the meat off the bones. And from that point on, the method will be the same. I just happen to have my Instant Pot, so that's what I use. All right, we'll be back as soon as this Instant Pot is done. Okay, it's been 2 hours, so I've let it, the pressure release, and then I took the lid off. I always sit it down in the sink, that way if it has any overflow or anything, it doesn't make a mess. But, oh, and by the way, the bird weighed 5.5 pounds. I thought it was around 4, but it was actually 5.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it out. I'm going to put it in this colander I have here, over here on the other side of the sink. I'm just going to take all the chicken out, everything, and I'll let it cool. And then I'll take the meat off of the chicken, and that will be dinner for my doggies tonight, for Hunter and Indy. They've been waiting patiently, and it's 4:30, so they're trying to remind me to hurry up, Mama, because our dinner should be ready by now. So anyway, that's what I'll do. I'll put this over here. Oh, see, and it's coming apart, so you don't have to really cook it, I guess, 2 hours just to get the meat off the bone, but at least you know you won't have to work hard to get the meat off. So, all right, I'm going to let this cool till I can get the meat off the bone, because we're not done with the bones yet. We're going to put those back in. And I'll be back then. Okay, we're back. And I got the chicken taken off the bones. And this is the bowl of chicken I got. This, of course, will be dinner for Indian Hunter. I think I'll have a few bites too. Okay, so anyway, here's the big stock pot. And I put the carrots and celery, and I'm going to put an onion in there. Because I almost forgot that. But we'll put that in there. And then I'll put the bones and the skin and all of that good yummy stuff back in the pot. Now, what's in the pot already is the celery, the carrots, some of the bones, the chicken feet, the neck, the gizzards, and we're gonna put this onion in there. Just toss that in. Here's the rest of the bones and skin. We'll just throw all of that in there. Okay, and then a little bit of broth that dripped out of there. Okay, and then here's all the broth. So I'll put that back in here. All right. As you can see, it only filled that pot up about halfway. So what I do then is I add more water. And I'll bring the water level up. Sorry, I forgot to fill up my plastic container with water. But I'll bring the water level up to about maybe a half an inch below the top of the stock pot. I have a Berkey water filter, and that's what I use for all of my drinking and cooking. It's awesome. I got the, I can't remember what it's called, but it holds almost 3 gallons of water at a time that it'll filter. So, well, that's a good level right there. We're just about well, I'll add a little bit more in, but that's just almost what we need. So there. Now it's about a half an inch below the top of the pot. So I'll put this over on the stove and I will turn it on. I'll turn it on high just long enough until I start seeing just some tiny bubbles. Then I hit it down all the way down to low and I let it simmer like that until tomorrow morning, which right now it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So I'll let it simmer like that until tomorrow morning, and then I'll turn it off and I'll take the bones out and the veggies, and then I'll let it cool off so I can skim any fat off the top. Sometimes there's a lot of fat, sometimes not so much. I do like a little bit of fat in there. I think it adds flavor, but I don't like too much. And one other thing, if you remember, well, 2 other things. Remember when I put that tablespoon of salt in the Instapot when we first started. So I'm not adding any other seasonings at all. The only other thing I'll put in here right now is I'll take a cap full of apple cider vinegar. and you can use whatever kind. This is the all-natural kind. It has the mother in it, but you can use any type of apple cider vinegar that you have. It helps to bring the nutrition out of the bones into the broth. So anyway, that's it. It's ready to go over onto the stove. And I'm not going to lift this pot up on camera because it's going to be very heavy and I'll be grunting and groaning, and I don't want to put you guys through all of that drama. So, alright. I'm going to put it on the stove and I'm going to let it cook overnight. And then, when I'm ready to move on to the next step of, you know, straining the broth and everything, then I'll come back and we'll do the last part of the video. Okay, good morning everyone. It's the next morning. I turned this pot off, about an hour ago. It's 8:30 now. But I got up and I turned this off around 7 o'clock. And it smells so good. I have to let it cool, and it is just so hot. I'm going to put a nice lid on it and sit it, I think, out on the porch to cool, because it's only in the 40s out there this morning. So that will help it cool off quite a bit. And then after it's cool, I'll skim the fat off of the top. I'll strain. I'm going to strain some of these veggies out, I guess, actually, before I set it out to cool. The ones that float to the top, I'm going to skim out of there. And then I'll cool it off. Then I'll drain the fat off, or I'll skim the fat off. And then I'll be back when we're ready to put it in the containers. And I guess there really isn't much else to do after that. Just put it in whatever container you want to put it in, and either freeze it or keep it in the fridge. But with this amount, I freeze it, because I won't use all of this, you know, right away. So, alright, we'll see you later. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back with you later. Okay, we're back for the final step of our chicken broth. And it's really probably self-explanatory from this point on, but I'll show you what I do. So, what I have here is, this is a 13-quart stainless steel bowl. I'll put that in the sink. Here's a nice big strainer, and I set that in top of that bowl. Then, I grab my chicken pot, which is, oh my, very, very heavy. Very heavy. Okay, now that I made that point, duh. Okay, then I gently start pouring into the strainer. And if you go too fast, it splashes everywhere, which is what's starting to happen here. I don't want to do that. I have to slow it down a little bit. Now this bowl's starting to get full already of broth. May not have enough room in this bowl. Oh well. Looks like my bowl's full already. Okay. I'll have to use another bowl. Wow. That's crazy. Remember, I said I wasn't sure how many quarts this pot was. So obviously it's more than 13 quarts. Maybe it's a 20 quart pot. I don't know. It was my mama's and she used it all the time. Okay, well, all right. I'm gonna take another, I just have another type of real Rubbermaid bowl here. I'm not sure what size this is. It's, yeah, it says 13 cups, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'll try that and see if I can strain the rest of this into there. And hopefully that will go well. And I don't make a huge mess. Because believe me, I am the queen of making a mess. That's why I don't cook a lot, because I make huge messes. Okay. All right, got that all out of there. All right. I like to get all the broth that I can get out of here, but I'm not going to stand here forever and make you watch this, so it's just about done dripping. All right, we'll just get rid of that. So what we have now is this full 13 quart bowl and this other bowl that's about half full. And I would say that's about 2 quarts in there. I'm gonna guess and say it's approximately 2 quarts. So we got approximately 15 quarts of chicken broth from this recipe that I made this time. So all I'll do now is I buy these little plastic containers. You can get them, I think I get these at Dollar Tree, I think it is. And they're like $1 for a pack of 5 or a pack of 6, something like that. 2 cups to there, and that's how I fill it to that line, to the 2 cup line. That way it leaves enough room for expansion in the freezer. I fill these up and mark them and I put them away. So that's your chicken video. Pretty easy, huh? Okay, well, thanks for watching. And if you have any other suggestions on what you'd like to see, if I know how to do it, I'll make a video about it. In the meantime, go watch my other videos and give me some thumbs up and comments and things like that, because it'll really help my channel grow. So I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for watching. See you again. Bye now.